wealthy. You are rich. You are powerful. You attract money. You deserve money. You are surrounded with money. You have multiple sources of income. You are abundant. You are highly driven and motivated to succeed. You have the ability to make large amounts of money. You achieve whatever you set your mind to.
Okay, so what you were just watching there is a clip. It's called The Millionaire Mind. It's a 10-minute clip, and I watch it 3 times in a row in the morning. The reason for, I'm talking when you're in that groggy state, because when you're in that groggy state, it says, what I keep hearing is the first 20 minutes is critical because that sets the tone for the day, and it puts those thoughts right into your subconscious mind where you're still in that groggy state. Now, I do it for 30 minutes just to be extra safe. If there's a little more of that time available where it goes into my subconscious mind, I do an extra 10 minutes. So if you don't know, the reason I'm focused a lot on the money end of it, to go with, doing the physical training, is that I recently quit my job. 12 years ago, I had been worth $5 million. I was a self-made millionaire at 28 years old. I was worth $5 million at 40 years old. And at 45 years old, I went bankrupt when the whole video industry collapsed. And I lost buildings that I owned that the video stores were in, and all everything pretty much I owned. And then I also went through a divorce at the same time. It was a very, very painful time for me. And I pretty much swore money off right then because I kind of let it, if I'm going to get this much pain through money, then I don't need money, because it was really painful. It was like a 1.5-year bankruptcy, and people were coming out of the bushes. That was the low, is when I'm coming home like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm working full time and commuting to San Francisco, and people come out of the bushes, handing you a subpoena at 11 o'clock at night. It kind of freaks you out a little bit. You're a guy who always paid your bills, and then you go through this bankruptcy in there. It's very rough. I don't wish it on anybody. Anyway, so I swore this money off, right? And I worked a job for the last 10 years, and I started realizing what my purpose is, and my purpose is to motivate people through doing these events. And I was doing the events, but I wasn't able to finish them as they got more and more difficult. And so that's why I had to quit my job so I could go at it full time. But I have no money coming in now, right? So I had enough money to last roughly, 2 years, although my expenses have been more than what I thought. So 1.75 years, 1.5 years, whatever it is, I'm going to give it everything I got to get this going. I know how to do it. I've done it before, but I'm doing it in a different field now. I'm supposed to motivate people, so I have to figure out how to make money while I motivate people. And so I got to get the right mindset, though. So you see, I have to get around. I have to get around that energy, that millionaire mind energy. That's a big part of making money and making big money. Is you gotta have. It's the 99% part. Is you gotta have the mindset. You gotta have the mindset, and you gotta realize. And for me, because I was so upset by it all. That it's okay that I want to be a millionaire again. I was worth $5 million. It gives you a lot of freedom, a ton of freedom. You can do whatever you want. You could buy, you can't buy everything you want, but you can buy, you don't have to say no very much. That was my definition. Well, had a nice house, couple nice cars, took nice trips. The main thing was I had freedom. I could train. I was doing Ironman training. I would train. I'd go into work for a couple hours, train, come back in the afternoon. It was, it's a great lifestyle. And it's what I was put on this earth to do, is to motivate people. And the way to motivate people is I got to be going at it full time. Bill Rogers was a marathon runner back in, he won Boston Marathon, I think 4 years in a row, and when he was in his prime, we boycotted in the 1980 Olympics, I believe. But one thing he said is, no guy who's working a full-time job will ever beat me. And I didn't necessarily believe it then, but I do now, because I'm putting in, 4 hours of, yesterday was 4 hours of physical training, and I can put anywheres in from 2 to 4 hours of mental, like just what you watch. That's a half hour. I'll do a half hour of that at night. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I'll put one on that's just flat out affirmations on it, about, rich affirmations, very similar to that, but that one's very visual too. That's why I like that one in the morning at night. And then I have the gratitude one. I put the gratitude on for an hour if I'm in the middle of the night, or if I'm, hanging out for a while or driving, I'll put it on and play it. And I'll play a lot of stuff when I'm driving, and if I can get internet reception to play it. But so that's the first thing I do in the morning. Is I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of my morning routine. So it's the first thing I do in the morning. It's also the last thing I do before I go to bed, is watch those 3 videos. And I'm usually like half falling asleep, and it's crazy, but I go, and you know what I call them? I don't call it this is extra stuff. This is a workout. I say this is a workout. And the more I can focus on it and pay attention to it and feel it, feel like I got the fancy cars, the fancy house, just feel it, the fancy vacations, feel it. And the more it's the real deal, it becomes real to you, and it's who you are. And so you're looking for those opportunities. I believe you're drawing those opportunities to you too. Anyway, I'm going to go show you the next step, because after I do that, I go into the bathroom and read some affirmations and goals, and I'm going to do it right now. I am so happy and grateful that I am the world's greatest extreme endurance athlete who motivates millions of people and makes millions of dollars a year. I am so happy and grateful that I am the world's greatest extreme endurance athlete who motivates millions of people and makes millions of dollars a year. I am so happy and grateful that I am the world's greatest extreme endurance athlete who motivates millions of people and makes millionaire. I make millions of dollars a year. I create money. I am the world's greatest extreme endurance athlete. I create time. I can do all things. I have $1 million cash in the bank. I am a glass eater. I bring massive value. I open my life to abundance and prosperity. I am so thankful to be alive today. I'm ageless. I'm timeless. I'm Superman. I'm climbed and summited Mount Denali in Alaska. I've swam the English Channel from shore to shore. So I do my morning, the 3 that you saw in the morning, and then I immediately, walk into the bathroom. Now I may not immediately do it. I may come into the kitchen. I usually drink 3 glasses of water, 3.5 glasses of water first thing in the morning to get myself hydrated, and I'll have a cup of like a cold coffee can. I don't want to deal with heating coffee up and stuff, so I just slam a cold coffee can, and then I may go into the bathroom, or that's kind of my routine. Those are like the first 3 things I do in the morning, and they could be, like I said, it could be a slightly different order, so I get a little jolt going by the time I stare in the mirror. Because when I stare in the mirror, there's 2 things I do. I watched this scientist, and he said, so I couldn't do it with this selfie stick in my hand, but I cross my arms and legs, because he says if you cross your arms and legs, it short circuits yourself into your subconscious mind, and brings those, when I do my affirmations and my goals, straight into my subconscious mind. Do I know if that's true or not? No. Does it hurt me to cross my arms and legs? No. I just do it. He seemed like a really smart guy when I listened to the video. So I go through and I do the ones in the mirror, which is a statement. And it's like, yeah, I'm always the world's greatest. Why go for anything less than that? I go for the world's greatest. I'm the world's greatest, and I don't care if anybody else believes it. It's just important that I believe it. So I'm the world's greatest. Millions of dollars, and if you're going to service millions of people, if you're going to put your service out there to millions of people, you will be rewarded for your service in millions of dollars. So if you can motivate millions of people, that's my idea, is bring value to millions of people, then you'll make millions of dollars. So that's how I'm going to make my millions of dollars back, is by motivating millions of people. Do I know all the details yet? No, I don't. I just know I'm supposed to do this, and I'm like super obsessed with it. So I'm super obsessed with my training, and I'm super obsessed with getting my brain right. Brain mentally tough to finish these events, but also mentally where I can attract the money, you know, so I'm attracting the money again, and I know how to make the money, and I have the confidence when I go after the money. It's and with money, like I said, is freedom. It's freedom. That's my main thing. And and yeah, you can have the fancy cars and the fancy house and all the things that go along with money, which are, it's fun. I've had a job for 10 years, and I had a company for 20 years where I had freedom. And let me tell you, the company for 20 years was a hell of a lot. It's a hell of a lot funner than going to a job that you're not calling the shots. You know, you're working an 8 to 5, and it's somebody else's company. And that's a difference. It's a different lifestyle than when you have the freedom and can do whatever you want to do every day. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm out there, and I'm supposed to motivate people, and I'm on it. I'm on motivating, and I'm obsessed with finishing with the training that's necessary to finish the big events I have coming up, which is the, just to refresh anybody's memory, is I have the Tuscobia 160-mile run. The Arrow, that's in northern Wisconsin, where it was minus 20 degrees. You pull a 40-pound sled with your survival gear. Then a month later, I have the Arrowhead 135, which is 135 miles in northern Minnesota, where you pull a 40-pound sled with your survival gear. And I've not finished that race 6 times. I've made it as far as 100 miles, and the temperature has been as low as minus 48 degrees when I've been out on the trail. And then I go to South America like 2 weeks after that, and I climb Mount Aconcagua, which is the highest mountain in the Western Hemisphere, one of the 7 summits at 22,000 feet. And then a couple months later, I go up to Alaska, and I'm taking my 4th attempt at Mount Denali in Alaska, which is 20,000 feet high, and it's the world's coldest mountain. And I've had my ass kicked 3 times up there, including coming home last year with frostbite all over my fingers and on my thumb. And I know I don't want to do that again. So I'm training like a maniac, getting my mind right, getting my body right, getting my mind right, getting my body right, getting my spirit right. You know, I know what my calling is. I know what my purpose is that I'm supposed to motivate people, which, hey, you can't sit on your ass and motivate people, and you can't sit on your ass and if you want to bring money in either. It's just, well, I guess if you have a computer in your lap, maybe if you're a computer guy, internet guy. Anyway, moving on. Got to go get my workout in. All right, I just finished off my first workout of the day, a 2-mile power walk, averaging about 15:25 in that range. I got a little bit more to go, but pretty good. I'd like to get down where I'm down to 15, and then maybe eventually 14 and 13, maybe even 12 before I go to Tuscobia. Get that locked in. I know I've done 12-minute walk pace a long time ago. I did when I was doing a lot of walking, and so I think I can get down to that. And not at a big strain, just at a nice, you're working, but it's an aerobic, and that's what I want to get down to, so I can lock into that muscle memory. Now I'm starting to carry a full Camelback, because I will, depending on how cold it is at Arrowhead and Tuscobia, but my plan is to use a Camelback, and so I want to get used to that. It's like, I think it's 9 pounds. 100-ounce Camelback, with some other stuff in there. And then I'm also, I want to get used to having a pack on for when I go for Aconcagua. So these are all going to be, right in a row. December 31st is Tuscobia, and then January 31st, right in that range. It might be a few days one way or the other, is Arrowhead, and then 2 weeks after that is Aconcagua. So I got to get pack work in before I go to Tuscobia. I got to be comfortable with like a 40-pound pack. So somewhere's that's going to have to start being put into my workout. I have to talk to my coach, my running coach, the amazing Amanda McIntyre, and just to make sure we're on the same page with all that. Heading for my second workout of the day, gonna get my yoga on. I'm pretty sure this is an easy one too, because today's supposed to be like a pretty resty day. So I think for my my third workout, which I'm not obsessed, my yoga teacher let me know, Bill, you're not obsessed, you're driven. I'm driven to do 3 workouts every day, 7 days a week. I just got to make sure one of the days is really easy. And so I'm going to do yoga and then another 2-mile walk, just kind of hitting that 15-minute pace, because that's pretty easy. Just have to convince my coach of that. All right, I just finished my yoga. Loved it. I'll tell you one thing I wasn't even counting on, that you know how it mellows me out. It just brings me down, which I think it's good for me. I'm pretty sure. It really mellows me out, especially all this crazy stuff going up here with the fires and all that. It's really, really good for the community that practices like that are there. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it's just like a side benefit I wasn't even counting on. I thought, oh yeah, I just gonna go in there and stretch and get more flexible, and then it's like they're just such caring people. I mean, people who do yoga and the instructors are very caring people. It's a great energy for me to be around. So all right, I'm gonna do a 2-mile walk and then call it a day, because yeah, this is supposed to be an easy day, so I'm gonna do 2 walks, and that'll be anyway. They're not a big strain. I keep telling that to myself. It's not a big strain. I can keep doing those all day long. All right, just finished my my 2-mile power walk in the evening. Not pooping me out. It's supposed to be an easy day, so I'm telling myself I'm not pooping out. Anyway, after yoga, you know, I don't usually do these after yoga. Usually I do them first, and then yoga is second. And I did it after yoga today, and I don't know if you can see that, but if you can, it's a 30:05, so 15 minutes and like 2.5 seconds per mile. Definitely getting that locked in, that 15-minute pace. And I think it's just gonna keep getting better. I think it's gonna drop. I think I'm gonna keep dropping it until it gets down to like 12. That's my plan. And yeah, I'm fired up, man, fired up. You know what I noticed? I keep saying fired up because I must be fired up. All right, me and my puppy are turning a little early tonight. We stayed up late last night. Worked hard. Drum roll. How many calories for the day? 1555. 3 workouts, 1555 calories. Know what that means? Working on the chain gang. Working on the chain gang. Look at that chain go. I'm getting so damn skinny too. All right, hey, when I get done with this, I'll probably do a before and after, because I got a before picture where I was 237 in a Speedo in the English Channel. But when you're running, you don't wear Speedos because it looks weird. So I won't probably do an after picture in a Speedo. All right, successful day.